Welcome to the Chips and Salsa show. This is Don Jorge, and we're have a guest today. Me and Cheryl Rosado, my co-host. Uh, we have
Hi.
uh, we have a guest, Carolyn Leff, and she is going to speak about a project she's working on, and a very important project. So, without further ado, I'll introduce Cheryl Rosado, who will open it up.
Hi, good to be back. You can tell that we are currently Zooming it, so it's virtual, which is a little different for us. We don't usually do it this way, so this is something new. And I just want to point out, if you can see behind George, we have a new sign, new logo. We're really excited about it. Say something, George, so that yeah,
Yeah, you'll see
yeah.
that at all our in-person things. It's our new logo, a part of our new logo. The other logo is our Facebook page, um, or our website page. It's the chipsandsalsa.com. You go to that, and it will blow your mind. Our producer has created a page for us that is really, really interactive. Sponsors can go on it. Listeners can go on it. It has events, everything, and it's a very good page. And it's the chipsandsalsashow.com, and that's he's just posted it there for everybody. You go there, and uh, I don't know. Eric would have to explain if it's taping a Zoom live or all our recorded programs. I know it does do all our recorded programs on Yahoo, Rumble, and all our other social media accounts, but there's so much information there that it's very, very important that we keep repeating that to our guests and our sponsors and vendors that they can actually go there and they can subscribe even more than we're offering as 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 sponsors. And I know you'll mention a couple of the sponsors, right, Cheryl? Uh,
Yes, I do. We absolutely love our sponsors. We appreciate all of their support. And if you go to chipsandsalsashow.com, you will see that we are on Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And that's thanks in part to our wonderful sponsors like National Automotive Repair, which I can tell you, I actually hadn't mentioned this to my co-host yet, but I got a flat tire today. And I know that's not the same as like a mechanical issue, but it's just car issues are such a headache and you need someone you can trust. So that's why I love National Automotive Repair. They're right off the 17. So super great location. We also have Canaloo Air, and Canaloo Air is our air conditioning and plumbing company that supports us, and we love them. They always have some kind of special going on, super friendly service, and they would love to help you out if you need any kind of AC assistance at your house. And then, of course, we have it's Crystal Blue Hydration. So on Instagram, crystal underscore blue underscore hydration. It's a mobile IV service and also B12 shots. And she's a registered nurse, so you can totally feel safe and secure. And thanks to sponsors like them, we're able to do our show where we have our guest today, Carolyn Leff. I'm sure you recognize her name, and she's here to tell us all about the project that she's been working on that's very, very close to her heart. Oh, also, I forgot One Team, One Dream Foundation. And you can go to oneteamonedreamfoundation.org to find out more about them and their service. And that's all of our sponsors. So let's get to Miss Carolyn.
Hi, well, thank you for having me on the show today. So my mom, Senator Barbara Leff, passed on in January. And so what happened was after she passed on, her Facebook page was left. And then I decided to become her legacy person. I put myself as her legacy person on my account. And I wanted to be able to memorialize it. I thought I was doing something right. It's just like when you go to elections department and you tell them, hey, my mom passed away, take her off the voter rolls. And they did perfectly. They did. I mean, I did the paperwork. Just being their daughter, let me get her off the voter rolls. No ands, if, or buts, no third degree. However, meanwhile, back on the ranch, Facebook, total different story. To take over somebody's page after they die. And since our lives are all on digital, on either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever platform you use, your whole life is digital now. And so we need to start thinking about who takes over that when somebody passes. So that's what I've been working on with Facebook. I decided to take on Facebook and say, hey, I need my mom's digital life. She had one. And now, because of memorialization of the page, she doesn't have one. Now, what I can do, which I did memorialize it. I did read the terms and the conditions saying that you will be locked out of the account. I thought, well, I'm her daughter. I'm not going to be totally locked out. This is probably for, the bots or fraud, but I'll be okay. I'll be able to get in, right? Wrong. So I memorialized her page. I'm meta verified, which means I've got the blue check mark in front of my name. They have my license on file. They have my mom's death certificate on file, but yet they wouldn't allow me to have access. The only things I do have access is her profile picture, her cover photo. She can friend request, which I think is kind of funny on the memorialized page, having friend requests. So I do let a few people on that I know that she knew or that I know. And so then if those people wanted to reach out to me to ask me what happened to my mom or whatever, they can't because they took away the messaging. I cannot get into her messages. Her old Left is Right, barbarleff.com website we took down a while back ago after she retired from being in office. So her inactive link is still on there, but I cannot get into her account and change her profile information. So I'm completely locked out. So again, I can change her profile, her cover photo, her friend request. I can basically deal with who can post or who can tag her and then pin a post. That's all I can do. So in grief, you're like, okay, well, I'm doing the right thing. I'm letting Facebook know that my mom passed. But then when, not grief is going to taper off that fast, but when you just get a little bit of a clear mind, you're like, oh man, I made a mistake, a big mistake. And I like hit myself in the back and on the wall all the time going, why did I do that? I thought I was doing something good. So I was fighting with Meta for a while. I actually got to talk to Meta. I actually got them on the phone, which is amazing because they're a big tech company. So I did. I talked to them and I asked, I made a mistake during grief. Can I have you flip my mom's page back? They go, well, we can't because of, like fraud and security. I said, I understand that. Trust me, I understand that because I have fallen for so many fraud things for the bank that I've almost gotten my identity taken away. Well, not that far, but it was almost close to it. So I get why they're afraid of fraud happening. But when you're meta verified, you're her daughter, you should be able to get her account open. And I bring it back to the elections department. They did not ask me any questions. I told them I was Senator Barbara Leff's daughter. I need to take her off the voter rolls without questioning me, without worrying about fraud or any of that. They said, fill out this paperwork, send it back to us, and we'll get her off the files. So I did that within 24 hours. It was done. No questions asked. I'm like thinking today, I was thinking if I could do that so easily with a government department, why can't we do it on social media? Either for us to be able to memorialize it, or if we change our minds during grief, to undo it. But Meta will not let you do that. So I decided to take it to, number one, I took it to X. I got on X because that's where media people live. And I did a whole little background of what was happening. And I tagged every single media person that I can think of off the top of my head. And no pun intended, John Hook from Channel 10, Hooked On, they came out to my condo. We did it at the pool. He did a TV interview about what happened to me in my mom's account, because when I posted about what I was doing, I got so many messages from people like around the US going, you keep fighting this. I lost my son 15 years ago. Facebook still won't let me on to his account. I was looking for some pictures or some memories. I gave up. I'm really glad you're fighting for this. I said, well, yeah, I'll fight a multi-billion-dollar company on my own if I have to, because it's not fair for us to get locked out of our loved ones' digital assets when they die. So I also took it to David Schweikert's office, Congressman Schweikert, and I wanted to tell him what was going on. And his office reached out to their Meta liaison, and she didn't get that far, only because she wasn't me, which I totally understand. I thanked her. I said, thank you so much for helping me, whatever you can do. And then I took it a step further, and I said, well, because federally, I wanted to see if there was a way of possibly changing legislation that will basically make sure that there is a way that we can get into our loved ones' accounts. It's called next to kin rights. So then I decided to reach out. So after I talked to David Schweikert's liaison about that, I said, okay. And then David Schweikert's office, Congressman Schweikert's office, told me that I can go to Jim Jordan's, because he's the head of fiduciary. So I said, okay, well, I'll reach out to them. I haven't heard from them yet, which is fine. I totally understand. I'm not trying to get any special like favors or anything. I just want to put a buzz in their ear for next session. So I asked Congressman Schweikert if he could help me get it in the hands of Jim Jordan's office. So that's pending. And then I reached out. I decided to go local also, because local can also, Arizona at least can switch laws or reform laws. So I reached out to Senator Shauna Bullock, and she's next session, she's going to help me with some digital asset legislation. Now, I did do some research, and we already have a bill, or we already have a law. It was Senate Bill 1430, or sorry, Senate Bill 1413 passed in 2016 based on the revised Uniform Fiduciary Access to Digital Assets Act. The challenge is what exists legally on paper does not always match how platforms operate in real life. Basically, it says you can have somebody from the courts, like assign somebody to take over your digital assets after you die. But then on Facebook, they have a legacy person. You would think if you are called a legacy person that you would be actually able to get in there to their digital life, but you can't. So that's like that. That's the disconnect. So I've been talking, and then Senator Bullock and I are just in the stages of research. We're just researching. We're just asking questions. So the next session, we can go in and do some reform on that, because what we have now kind of sounds better like in life, but not when it really happens. So she's been she's been awesome to me. We're going to sit down some more, and we're going to see what we can do to revise. And I'm not just doing this for myself. I want to help others also, because we all have family members who have their digital lives on Facebook. And because Facebook has an older crowd, when those people pass, people are going to have the exact same problem that I did. You're not going to be able to get into your loved one's account if you memorialize your site. So if you have a family member that has passed, do not memorialize that on Facebook because you will never get that access back. And that's what I'm trying to do, make sure that we do, especially for those of us that are Meta verified, because I had to physically take a picture of my license. I cringed when I did it, but I did it and I sent it in. $25 a month. I get like special access to like a human being from Meta that I actually talk to. So it's just things like that. It's just there needs to be reform because we are so social media and online. We all have an online life, but who's going to take over when you pass? I don't know if any of you out there have thought about that. What happens to your media on any of the platforms when you pass? So that's what I've been doing, and I want to
Is it wasn't your mom? Wasn't your mom? Was it a state senator or?
she was a state senator and she was also in the House. So she was a representative first. She was in office for over 14 years. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make sure that her legacy lives on. I'm her legacy on Facebook. And as a legacy, you would think that is accessibility, but it's not. I mean, I can only, again, I'll review it in case somebody joined us later. I can only change her profile picture, her cover photo, allow friend request on, but they cannot message me. I cannot get her pictures. Now, interestingly enough, on the app, I can't get any of her pictures, but on the desktop, I can get her pictures, which is kind of weird, but I don't understand that.
Wow.
So it's just horrible what they don't let you do. So I decided to do it on my own, reach out to media, reach out to our wonderful leader here on the show. And I just wanted to get it out to the open that this is a real problem. And I thank Senator Bullock for helping me
So
to make change and make the public aware how incredibly important this is because people don't understand digital planning before tragedy happens. The goal is not attacking technology companies, it is improving clarity, consistency, and compassion for families. And this issue is only going to become more common as more of our lives continue moving online.
Do other digital platforms offer a legacy or have a similar system like on, Instagram or I don't know, YouTube? Do those ones have that you know of?
Facebook does because I signed up for myself as my mom's legacy contact. I don't know about X with Elon Musk. I don't know. TikTok, I don't know either. My mom wasn't on TikTok. She wasn't on LinkedIn. She was on Instagram. So I only pay attention to Facebook since that was what my mom was on.
How long have you been dealing with this too?
She died January 14th. A couple of days after her death, I handed in the paperwork to Meta to memorialize it, thinking again I was doing something right. And I was on instant message with them, chatting with them. They actually told me on one of the messages that I was talking to them on that they would switch me over, that I could have my mom's account back, but they never did it. And they said that within 48 hours, I was supposed to hear from somebody from Meta with an email saying that you can get back on your mom's account. So within that 48 hours, I got online again and said, hey, I just wanted to follow up on what you guys promised. And then they said, oh, we closed that. I'm like, what do you mean you closed it? You told me 48 hours before to check in with you guys. And they said, well, we're sorry, but you can go ahead and try to log on. So I did. I'm like, well, password doesn't work. He goes, well, let's change the password. I said, let's logically think about this. I go, first of all, if we change the password, since I'm the legacy contact, it's going to change my password on my own page. How is that going to help me get into my mom's page? It's not. So then I asked them at Meta, because I was so mad. I will admit that I did drop a couple of F-bombs. Don't ever do that. But I was just so angry and I was crying on the phone. I said, look, Meta, what if you had a coworker that was going through the same thing that I was? If they memorialized their parents' page and on accident during grief, would you be treating them the exact same way that you were treating me? And then pin drops. And I go, I understand you're on a recorded line. I understand that. But the silence right now that you're giving me is deafening. So, and I said, well, what if this happened to your mom? Would you want this type of red tape, what I'm going through, for you to go through? Again, pin drops. So then I finally decided, you know what? I give up. I hung up the phone. I wiped my tears away. And that's when I reached out to Congressman Schweiker, and I reached out, and how I got in touch with Senator Bullock is that I wrote into Kim Quintero. She used to be, I think, on Channel 3. She's now the Senate Communications Director. So I tweeted her about the story, about what happened to me. She goes, I'll go ahead and send it over to your legislative district. I'm in 4, but Shauna is a personal friend of mine, and she knew my mom. So she called me, and we started talking, and she's been wonderful to me for some reform. I said, this needs to be reformed because this is not working. Like, how can I change? I mean, how can I be the spokesperson for my mother for the elections department, but not for Facebook? So,
Right. I think expecting people to make like the best decisions for themselves and for the future within days of a loved one's death is just asking too much. You're overwhelmed, and it doesn't matter if it's something that was expected or unexpected. It's overwhelming to lose a loved one. And I think they should have, I honestly, maybe they should make people have a waiting period before they can switch their account. You know what I mean? What would be your ideal steps that you think that maybe 3 to 5 steps to discuss with maybe I should talk with my mom about her digital footprint and what we can do so that other people don't end up in this situation?
I think the best thing, I mean, like, my mom was active on Facebook before she got her dementia. Things were starting to progress the other way. We never really thought about it. That's the problem. I mean, I myself, I didn't even think about the fact that one day that she's not going to be here. And a couple of days or yesterday, I was thinking about myself. I'm like, what happens to mine if something should happen to me? I'm thinking about that too. But who would I have? It's like, well, I don't really have anybody because I'm such a control freak. I want to be in control of my own
I
account.
understand that.
Yeah, it's important to think about. And I don't have those answers right now, unfortunately, Cheryl. I mean, I'm just brand new at this myself. And
Mhm.
I was just talking, I even texted former Sheriff Mark Lamb when he wins Congress to see if he would help me with this too sometime down the line. I mean, I was just reaching out to the political contacts that I have for having my mom being so with all of her political contacts, and then with all my work that I've done. And I was just thinking, well, how can I do this? So I'm just kind of like leading how I'm leading. It's like I have like no outline. I'm just kind of doing this cold turkey going, well, maybe I'll make change. Maybe nothing will happen, but at least we should try. So we at least take care of our loved ones of their digital age, because everybody's on some type of social media right now.
But you said
So I don't
don't.
have all the answers right now. I just want to
But
see some
you
change and
said
get back
don't.
into my mom's account.
You said don't memorialize it. It's easier if you
Right.
don't memorialize it. You said that earlier
Yes.
because you said that caused the trickle effect, or no?
Yes. As soon as I memorialized it, that's when it all started. And I read the terms. I did. I told Channel 10 that too. I read it, and I was like, it says you will be locked out. I didn't know like how much or family members, because I'm Meta verified. So yeah, I thought I had, I don't know, maybe a little special I was wrong. I admit I am fully wrong,
Can
and I
you
kick
go
myself.
back and look at like her old posts that she did? Can you look at her old pictures that she had posted, or no, that's not visible to anyone anymore?
No, luckily I can do that. I can
Okay.
tag her, like when I go visit her grave, I can tag her on my page. I can tag my brother, I can tag my sister-in-law, my dad. Her stuff is still there. The only thing I cannot get into is like her feed, her messages. I can't edit anything. So her old website that's no longer on the web, I can't go in and delete that because the whole your account part, that's what I'm missing is her account part where I can update her profile. I can delete the her old website. I can maybe add more. I mean, I can maybe look for her messages to reach out to her friends. I cannot do that. The only one message that I can get into was an old message that I sent because I'm her legacy person. But
Mhm.
other than that, her feed and her account, the part that we all like to log into every day and doom scroll for 24/7, I can't get into any of that.
And you said
So
when you
it's
went to X, you got feedback that, like, I mean, and I'm not surprised, you're not the first person that other people have had this problem and nobody's managed to get any resolution.
no. And interestingly enough, 24 hours to 48 hours after John Hook did my story, the Wall Street Journal came out with another person's story about the exact same issue that the person that's deceased, this one was also a mother-daughter one, and she couldn't get into her daughter's account after she passed because Facebook Meta would not let her do that. So I'm like thinking, well, that's interesting. 24 hours, I think it was between 24 and 48 hours afterwards. I'm like, wow, the Wall Street Journal, like all my friends were, my friend in New York, Bob Sum sent it to me going, hey, look, this is kind of like your story. I was like, wow, oh my God, it's happening. It's real life. It's happening. So, but none of us can get through Facebook. And my one question that maybe one of our audience members knows, or one of our listeners, or maybe you guys know, my main question to Meta is, what is your game plan of keeping all of people's loved ones locked up in some cloud? I understand fraud. I'm not talking about the fraudulent or the bots. I understand that. But us um, good people in this world, there's a lot of them. We're not everybody's about fraud or, messing up the system or, I mean, the good people, why can't we get into our loved ones' accounts? What is Facebook's agenda of keeping them all locked out? I don't know the answer to that.
I would
Maybe
especially
because
think that when you have a loved one who's passed that's a public figure, the way like your mother, that it might be a little bit, you would think there would be a little bit more leeway because, it's obvious when you're a well-known person who's passed, people know that you've passed. You know what I mean? So like the whole like, well, possible fraud, yes, but most everyone is aware, that she had passed away. So I think the worry for that kind of goes down, and I would think that they would be a little more understanding.
right. Actually, there was my mom's friend's daughter got murdered in her house in South Scottsdale years ago. The guy just got convicted. And I want to tell the story, 'cause- but her daughter that lost her life to the murder, when Facebook had the warrant to get into her Facebook page, they completely just memorialized it without even telling the family or her sister that that is live. So when the mother and I were talking about what I've been doing lately, her sister texted me going, same thing happened to my sister's Allison Feldman's account. When the warrant came, they took it over. They didn't tell us we can't get back into it. I can't see my sister's memories. And then she talked to the top people of like the FBI, Facebook. Nobody will budge. That's the crazy part. Nobody will budge. And I don't know why Facebook needs to hold on to loved ones. Now, Facebook told her it's because maybe the deceased would not want whoever to take over their page. I think that's just a cover up, technically, I think. Why else would they want to or to keep it in the cloud? And why can't we get into them? That's what I don't understand. If anybody knows the answer to that, I'm all ears. It does not make sense to me.
That's wild. I'm sure there's some conspiracy theories out there, but about why Meta would want to keep this data and make sure that nobody can get into it, but that's weird.
Yeah.
Send us comments. Chipters out there, send us comments, maybe suggestions, and we'll send them to Carolyn because she's on this mission, and we should all be on this mission because it would affect all of us. So, Carolyn, what you're doing is fantastic. It's something people don't look into until it hits them, and like you said, you've met some people, and you've experienced it, and so you've seen the broader picture. Whereas, some of us don't until something like this comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's going to end, but it's worth a try. It really is. If nothing comes out of it, at least I gave it a shot. If something does and reform does happen, especially here locally, that would be wonderful. And I'm extremely excited about working with Senator Bullock to help us at least locally if I can't get it nationally. So I've done a lot. I mean, I've reached out to Jewish News. They covered it. Paradise Valley Independent covered it. Channel 10 covered it. I'm still waiting to hear from ABC 15. So the media is catching on. It's just the reform needs to happen and Facebook needs to give our loved ones back to us.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that ever seems to really change Facebook's mind would be public pressure. So you're definitely doing the right thing by, trying to keep it in the forefront by going to all media that is willing to have you. Did you reach out to what was the Wall Street Journal?
I tweeted them, but I don't know anybody at the Wall Street Journal. So if anybody out there does, please do let me know. I did reach out to the author of that story, but I didn't have any luck, and I didn't think I would because I'm a little fish in a big sea of media, and Wall Street Journal doesn't know me. I don't know them. The media out here locally all love my mom because John Hook said, I absolutely adored your mom. Of course, I'll do the story. The one that did the story, Jewish News, knew my mom when she was in office. I loved your mom. Of course, I'll do the story. So I had that local connection, but I also tried National Fox. I would love to do the Wall Street Journal. So if any of you, of your listeners or anybody on any of the channels that are listening tonight, if you have contacts for like Fox or Wall Street Journal, please do let me know because I would take it to them. And I mean, locally here, luckily I have the contacts from my mom being in office and me working for the state party years ago and being involved with campaigns here. But nationally, I don't have the connections nationally, unfortunately.
Okay, well, we'll definitely do what we can to keep your story out there, and thank you for sharing it with us. I know it is important to you, and to also try to help other people, so that at least to raise awareness. If Facebook doesn't change anything, like don't memorialize something unless you're ready to lose access to it.
Well, thank you, Carolyn, for reaching out to us so that we can put it out. And we're going to stay on top of this as time goes by, and we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for coming and talking to the chipsters out there, to being on our program. We really, really appreciate you, coming out, because I know it means a lot to you. And when you told me that, I said, we're going to have her on there. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. And I will keep you guys posted, and I'll do what I can to change it because it's not just about me. It's for everybody
it's for everybody.
Our lives are on social media now.
Let us know if you have an update next session with Shauna Bullock. If that goes anywhere, if you would like to both come on and discuss it and whip the vote or whatever we have to do.
Yes.
Both, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you, Cheryl, for joining us. Thank you, Eric, for recording this. It's going to be on our YouTube, Rumble, all our media. Thanks to Eric putting it out. Again, go on our website at the chipsandsalsashow.com, and you're going to see this one recorded on there, as well as many more. Also, I want to remind parents, watch your kids around water. It's getting hot. Watch them around the pools. You're a responsible parent. Don't leave kids or pets unattended in vehicles, and be a responsible parent. And thank you for listening to the Chips and Salsa show. And we're going to be putting out a lot more articles like this, because this is very, very important. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.